aspect from just teaching. That is giving the philosophy. Philosophy is not something which can be reached in depth by everybody. Philosophy is something which is bestowed in religion. Philosophy of the teaching is bestowed upon you from Allah Himself. Nobody can reach it. This is the meaning of the verse, La yamassuhu illa al-mutahharun. Nobody can touch the Holy Quran except those who have been purified by Allah Himself. So philosophy also requires someone who has been purified by God and who has been directly guided by Allah. And that is also, according to the Holy Quran, an office of prophethood. So these four functions of prophethood, which have been mentioned in this verse, pertain to, number one, revelation of a law. That may be over because a law has been completed. But the remaining three functions can never be declared to be over once and for all, because these functions are continuous. They are required to be performed by all ages, for all ages. And nobody can tell that in this regard there is no need for any prophet to come to purify us, to teach us the book, and to show us the wisdom underlying the book, or the philosophy underlying the book. So the nema, according to this explanation, the nema of prophethood is continuous. Nobody can put a stop to this nema completely. This is why Ahmad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam himself has declared, "Lam yabqa min nubuwwati illa al-mubashirat." Although the revelation part, the law part, or the major part of, let's say, the major part of prophethood has been completed and has been put to an end, but mubashirat, some good features, some glad tidings yet remain to be fulfilled. And these three are those mubashirat, according to me, which would continue to be fulfilled by prophets of God or by the guided ones. Now the guided ones can be raised to the status of prophethood. There is no stopping that. But lesser people than prophets can also perform these functions. There is no denying that either. This should be fully understood. These are the three functions which primarily are performed by prophets, other than the revelation of the book. These are the three functions primarily performed by the prophets, but not entirely and solely performed by the prophets. But they can be performed by the prophets in the best way, in the most consummate and most perfect way. So a time may come when people have deviated so far from the right path and have become corrupted so much that the best remedy is required for that time, and lesser remedies are no longer sufficient. If such a time comes, the demand of the prophet will be raised automatically. This should be understood in principle, and this is understood in principle in the light of the Holy Quran's declarations, various declarations on this subject. Now I come to another aspect of nema in continuation with this. The Muslims who do not believe in Hadhrat Massih-e-maud, that is non-Ahmadis, take this categorical stand that Nabuwwat, that is prophethood, the best nema, as mentioned in the Holy Quran, has come has come to a total end and a total stoppage. Nothing of Nabuwa is left for the posterity after Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So everything has come to a complete stop, and they believe this has happened for the first time in the history of religion. We on the contrary believe that Nema as such cannot be stopped, should not be stopped. In principle, this is what we understand. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound proper at all. For the best of the Nema to be stopped once and for all, categorically by Allah with a willful intention. Why should it happen? Now, this subject can be discussed from various angles. Some angles have already been discussed by us during my dars as well as during my sermons and other discourses. But I want to introduce a new angle to this discussion now. And from that angle, you should study the positions of both Ahmadis and non-Ahmadis and decide for yourself which position is more tenable according to the dictates of wisdom and reason. Nema, as we understood, is a favor of Allah. Itmam-e-nema is the perfection of favor. And Ikmal-e-nema, as we have understood the word, is the perfection of the law, so that nothing can be added. So, as far as the law is concerned, it can be reasonably argued that a law can come to an end if it has been perfected. Because law, once perfected, if not interpolated, if not changed, cannot be added upon. Perfection means perfection. Perfection means something which is complete. And you can't add to anything which is complete. You can't take away anything from that which is complete. So if, according to the Holy Quran, Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is such a lawbringer to whom a complete law has been revealed, a perfect law has been revealed, and if also a promise has been made to Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that nobody would be permitted to interpolate this law, to change this law, to add into this law, or to subtract from this law. And the book of this law would be preserved intact for all times to come. Then what is the natural logical corollary you can draw? No new book can ever be revealed. No new law can ever be given to mankind, because if a new law is given after a perfect law, while the perfect law is preserved, the obvious conclusion is that that new law has to be imperfect. And what sort of God that would be, who, having revealed a perfect law, also requires it fit, considers it fit to reveal an imperfect law replacing the perfect law. So it is so illogical, it is impossible in fact. The human reasoning rejects this possibility totally and entirely. Provided, of course, the claim of the Holy Quran is correct. So as far as those who believe in this claim, as far as those are concerned, there is absolutely no possibility, no room whatsoever for any addition into the law which was revealed to Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, any subtraction from it, any requirement of change whatsoever. So that aspect of prophethood is complete, and no such prophet can ever be conceived to come again after the final